What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're here for the Mexican Grand Prix, round number 19 of Season 2 of F1 2016 Career Mode. After this race we only have 2 more left to go, and this championship is well and truly coming down to the wire. Not points wise, but it's coming to the end now with a 24-point lead over Daniel Ricciardo. Things are looking pretty good, but as we end the first part of practice there, I've got to say the pace there wasn't that great at all. I was a second off the fastest time, and I was on the the super soft tyres, sorry. So it was a little bit interesting to see how my pace was reflected in the opening 3 practice sessions. I was playing around with setups a lot. You can see I've earned a lot of resource points now, 1,904. But yeah, the car is pretty unstable, I must say, through that middle sector. So that's the end of practice. Very, very short coverage there, but now we're off for qualifying.
Welcome to qualifying here in Mexico, where the cars will be going out on track very shortly and battling it out to secure pole for tomorrow's Grand Prix.
So here we are for qualifying then, sitting in the garage. There are some doubts over my confidence in the car this weekend. Just something isn't right with the setup. I can't seem to, find that perfect balance between, finding the right, aerodynamic efficiency versus straight line speed. Something there just isn't right. But here we are for qualifying. You can see this is our very first lap of the session. Lewis Hamilton is currently in first place, which is actually nice to see for a change. The Mercedes are actually on the pace, because as of late they've always been at the back end of the top 10. But we go through the stadium section now. Bit of oversteer as we went up over the orange part of that curbing there. Really unsettled the car, and then this whole finish to the lap hasn't been that great. But apart from that, the lap has been pretty solid. A bit of understeer approaching the final corner. And as we come up to the line, it is a 118.952. Apart from that small mistake in the stadium section, the lap itself was pretty solid. It got ourselves inside the top 10, I believe, but as we fast forward time, we've been demoted to 19th place. With 2 minutes to go in the session, we venture out to do another lap, but unfortunately, for some reason, we've lost a lot of time in the in-lap there, going to the fast lap, so we weren't able to get another lap in for the rest of that session, and because of that, we're not going to make it out of qualifying 1. It's going to be our worst qualifying position of the season, and it's a time that's actually slower than the qualifying time we did in Season 1. Now that's bad. That is absolutely dreadful. So we've got a lot of work to do in the race. With the championship on the line, we need to get through the field. It's time for the race.
Formula One may have been absent from Mexico for 23 years, but after 2015's triumphant return, it was as if we'd never been away. In Mexico, a Grand Prix is more than just a race. It's a celebration of speed and of bravery. There's nothing quite like the atmosphere in the stadium today. They'll be drowning out the cars with their noise as they make their way through on lap 1.
We're in good position for the Constructors' title. There are 3 races left, so we need some good results.
We may be in good position at the moment, but we need to get ourselves through the field in order to claw back some points. You saw there, both the Red Bulls are in first and second. Pascal Wehrlein, good for him to be in third place to put some pressure on the Red Bulls and potentially challenge them, hold them up in the race. That'd be absolutely ideal. In terms of the race strategy, we're doing a 2-stop, going from the soft compounds to the mediums to finish the race. And as always, going for a little less fuel in order to get ourselves through without, overfilling or like having too much fuel at the end, shall I say, without risking the engine too much. So 19th place. I thought it was P20 for some reason, but it's 19th place. A very average grid position to start from. But one thing's for certain, we're going to see a lot of overtakes in this Mexican Grand Prix. Away we go for the third to last race of Season 2, and it looks like a pretty average one. There's lots of cars all around us, so we've just got to be reactive heading into turn 1. Just try and keep this car intact. Look for gaps if they come available as we try and dodge Jolyon Palmer. They're very close call with him. Going up the inside of the Haas there of Romain Grosjean. Just so much traffic in front of us. It's absolutely manic to get through this without losing too much time. That's the crucial thing. We've moved up to P12 now. Yellow flags as someone behind us is having issues. I overtook the Toro Rosso there under yellows. Had to let him go back through again without getting... I was just preempting a illegal overtake warning, so I let Daniel Kvyat go back through there. So we've gone from 19th to 12th in the space of a sector and a half, so very good start to this Grand Prix. We've just got to continue to move forward. There's a massive train of cars in front of us. I don't know if someone has damage in front. There's a Ferrari, I believe, going really slowly. We pounce on all of these guys going so slow on the exit of the chicane there, and someone has actually made contact up there. Someone's locked up as well. Believe it was Carlos Sainz. We're going to try and go around the outside of him, turns to the inside for the next right-hander, and we've got him. So next up is the Mercedes of Nico Rosberg. Then Hamilton follows him through as well in position 8. Let's see if we can go up the inside of Rosberg here. We've just got enough room to squeeze through up the inside there. He's on the super soft tyres, so in theory, he should be a little bit faster than us, despite his car being a little bit slower than the Matters. He should be, just able to keep me at bay for the moment, but maybe his tyre wear is already starting to affect him in this race. We got the inside through the stadium section, and Rosberg still holds on, which is really nice to see that he's got some fight, or the AI rather, do have some fight. Ricciardo sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. 120 point something. We're getting oversteer off this final corner. It's going to be crucial for us today to get a really nice exit every single time off of that final corner to set up these overtakes on this straight. We know that this Mercedes is an absolute beast in a straight line, and we do manage to make full use of that, getting in front of Nico Rosberg there and moving inside the top 10 by the time we get to lap 6, as some people are now starting to think about their pit stops in this race. Next up is Lewis Hamilton. Super soft tyres for him. And I'd imagine he'd be in very, very soon. He's actually in now. So too with one of the Force Indias. I can't confirm who that is at the moment. But we've got our teammate Pascal Wehrlein in the pits. So too with one of the Red Bulls. So one of them is going to have to stay out an extra lap. And they're definitely going to lose out in that battle. They're going to drop to 3rd overall once all the pit stops shake out. So for us, we're still on the soft compound tyres. We're going to run pretty long into this stint. Thank you for that, engineer. We're going to run really long into this stint and then run the medium tyres to finish off this race. Team radio.
Ricciardo behind. Our gap behind is 1.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums.
Okay, so like I was saying just before the team radio, we're going to run really long into this race. We've already done 11 laps on this soft compound tyre, and the guys behind me have already stopped. They're the race leaders, both the Red Bulls. I think Raikkonen's in there as well. Pascal Wehrlein should be not too far behind either. Not too sure what's going on with them, but they look to be a little bit further back compared to Ricciardo, who is absolutely flying in this race. I'm just doing whatever I can at this point to just hold him up. He's the main protagonist in this championship that we're fighting with. Compared to the rest of the guys, he's the one guy who could probably take this championship off of us at this point. So I'm doing whatever I can at this point to really hold up Daniel Ricciardo without holding out my own race too much. You can see we were battling away here, and Daniel tries to overtake me off the track around the outside there. I was having absolutely none of that. He's got to rejoin at a safe, point of the track. I'm not going to let him. I'm not going to, take a sidestep for him just to rejoin and overtake me. Hell no, I'm not going to get involved in any of that kind of shenanigans. If he wants to win this championship, he's got to overtake me, and he's got to force the point, really. So, lap 13, and we're still battling away with Daniel Ricciardo. My engineer won't shut up about different factors in this race, but we've made contact with Daniel Ricciardo there, chipped off our front wing, and it's now orange. We were actually planning to make a pit stop there in just about 20 seconds' time. It was just that we locked up just as Daniel was overtaking us there, and now we've got to change our front wing as well as our tyres onto a new set of soft compound tyres. And yeah, that's going to make for a very lengthy pit stop here in this Mexican Grand Prix. We're already going to lose a lot of track position because we ran so long into this race. But now we've got to compound that with a front wing change as well. There's no way I could get away with running with an orange front wing for the rest of this race. There's too many high-speed corners in the middle sector. We would have lost way too much time. So we rejoin in 14th place. No, it's going to be worse than that. It's going to be much worse. 20th place behind a massive train of backmarker cars. That front wing change made the difference between us, emerging in front of that train and getting stuck massively behind it. So we've got a hugely uphill battle for the rest of this race. Just 22, 23 laps to go in this Mexican Grand Prix, and I think we might struggle to score points. That's how tough this remaining stint of this race is going to be. So from here on in, we've just got to get our heads down. We've got to get through this traffic as quickly as we can. We've got both the Renaults in front of us, a few Toro Rossos, the Williams, all these guys getting slowed up by someone at the front of this queue who just doesn't have the pace. I think through the corners must be one of the Williams. They've been so slow over the course of this season. We're going to go up the inside of Kevin Magnussen here, and he kind of takes up a little bit too much room there. Had to venture off track in order to not make contact there. We rejoin, and we're side by side with him. We go up the inside, and there we go. We've got him into 19th place. As you can see on the replay, I'm just kind of showing, you know, the kind of situation I was in, just trying to prove my innocence, I guess. Magnussen was kind of understeering, and if I would have tried to hang around the outside there, or tried to overtake him there, I reckon there would have been contact made for sure there. So I think I made the right decision in just leaving him that extra space and just continuing on with my race. He ended up pitting, I think, or, you know, a few laps later anyway. So lap 15, we're going up the inside of Carlos Sainz, and that's another position for us. We've got to continue to move forward as quickly as we can. We've got to make those inroads on, you know, the top 5 as quickly as we can. We're going to have fresher rubber for the rest of this race, so it's going to be crucial for us to get through this traffic just in case there's a safety car or anything like that. And it should put us very, very close to the likes of, you know, Daniel Ricciardo, the Ferraris, even my teammate as well. So with fresher tyres, I think we should be able to run with those guys, even though, you know, I'm not entirely confident in my pace and the setup this weekend. That kind of strategy advantage might help us at the back end of the race if there's a safety car. So yeah, like I said, just trying to punch through this field as quickly as I can. Next up is Felipe Massa. He's kind of slow, but just quick enough in the right areas. Like, I'm trying to just find a way around him, but he's just doing, you know, just enough to stay in front of me at the moment. And as we exit the middle sector now, we're going to go up the inside into the stadium section. We move to the insides, and there's just enough space for us to squeeze through there. Had to mount the curbing a little bit, but Massa is still there, still up my inside. Now I've cleared him, and we're into 12th place. Next up is Daniel Fiat. He made a pit stop very soon after that moment. Romain Grosjean is out of the race as well. He was right behind me, and now there's a virtual safety car. So we'll bring up the replay, and that is why Romain has an engine failure. It's almost no surprise, absolutely no surprise anymore in these career mode series that there's an engine failure every single race. Definitely needs to be patched very, very soon. A new patch has come out recently, version 1.7. I haven't played that as of yet. This video was made like a week ago before the patch came out, so I'll be eager to try in the next episode what the new patch entails. So coming into the pits now, I think this is our final stop of the race, going on to a set of medium tyres, which should very easily do 10 laps for the rest of this race. So tyre wear is definitely not going to be an issue for the rest of this race. We have a decent stop there, 2.3 seconds, and we emerge kind of where we were in P12, but we're very close to the Force Indias now. Sergio Perez doesn't really have too much to fight against us with some slipstream, rich revs, and DRS to boot as well. That's an easy overtake. Next up is Rosberg, who is only languishing at the back end of the top 10 there. So Mercedes have been struggling, you know, right from the outset of this career mode starting in Season 1. You know, they haven't upgraded their car at all, and they've really been found out as the... What's going on? Yellow flag. Perez is actually going slow there. I think he's actually got a puncture, and you'll see that on the replay in a second. And yeah, just sets up the overtake, and then right before he overtakes me, gets a puncture. Very, very unlucky for him there. 4 laps to go now. Pascal Wehrlein has made a very, very late call for a set of super soft tyres, and I think that means he's doing the 3-stop, and so too is the car in front of him, I believe is Jenson Button. So we should be able to overtake these guys, possibly, if we can get close to them in the slipstream, but we're going to have absolutely nothing in the corners. But when they're battling away like that, we should be able to catch them very easily. We've made up like half a second there in the space of a corner or two, and now these guys are going very, very slowly. The AI can't race each other on the exit of that first chicane there. It's just absolutely dreadful when they try to go side by side. They lose over a second. It's you know, ridiculous. We managed to get back in front of Jenson Button, and now we're trying to get in front of Pascal Wehrlein. I had a very close opportunity to get in front of him on that straight there. I decided to just stick behind him and allow him to kind of catch up to Rosberg. I was hoping that those guys would battle and I'd be able to get in front of Wehrlein and Rosberg, but as you can see on the final lap here, Wehrlein just didn't have the pace to make up the difference to Rosberg, and now I've got to set caution to the wind here. I've got to get in front of Wehrlein at all costs. because Daniel Ricciardo is going to win this race, and the championship lead is going to come down to essentially nothing. So these extra 2 points that we can snag here would be absolutely vital for our championship campaign here, and we're kind of running out of opportunities. Last lap of the Grand Prix, Wehrlein on the super soft tyres. They are fading very, very quickly, so you'd say that this is probably our best opportunity to get in front of him, since his tyres have worn, you know, quite significantly in the last 4 laps. Daniel Ricciardo crosses the line to win the Mexican Grand Prix. I think it's a Red Bull 1-2 as well. I just don't know what's going on, like, in these last 2 or 3 races. We just haven't had the pace. Maybe there's been a patch or something that's, you know, really affected our car performance. I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to really delve into setups and practice for the next episode. But through the stadium section for the final time, a desperate lunge up the inside to try and get in front of our teammate. It didn't work out. I think it's going to be P9 in this Mexican Grand Prix, so long as we can hold it together for this last corner. Fernando Alonso is right up my ass there, but he doesn't get me. It's 9th place.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
So that is the end of the Mexican Grand Prix. In the end, only 2 points to add to our championship tally, and at this end of the season, you don't want to be putting in those kind of performances. I mucked up on the strategy, I must admit. I stayed out too long in the first stint to switch on to a new set of tyres. I got tangled up with Ricciardo too much, trying to back him up into the pack, and then that really put me on the back foot for the rest of this weekend. But overall, the pace wasn't really there. Like, we got knocked out in qualifying 1. Yes, I could have made it to Q2 or whatever, but we really didn't have the pace to match with our teammate even. So I definitely got to go back to the drawing board and really work out what's going on with the setups, and just get my eye in with this game once again. So in the end, I think the championship lead will come down to only a few points now over Daniel Ricciardo. Not only 1 DNF being Romain Grosjean, a few cars finishing a lap down as well, which is pretty interesting at this phase of this career mode save, because all the cars are getting closer and closer as everyone starts to upgrade their cars. So looking at the championship standings now, and we do in fact still retain the lead of the championship only by 1 point. I would have thought we'd have a few more points in the bag over him, but it's only down to 1 point now. Max Verstappen is only 20 points away. Pascal Wehrlein 48 points away. I thought after his race win in USA, I thought he would have been very, very, very close, but after having a very average finish, 8th place for him, I think that's his championship over now, with only 2 races left in the season. And in the Constructors, we've lost first as well. 27 points behind Red Bull Racing. It's been a pretty catastrophic race weekend for Manor Racing, losing both the lead in the Constructors, and also losing pretty much all of the margin we had in the drivers' standings. So we've got some work to do. With 2 races left in the season, this championship is definitely well and truly up for grabs between myself and Daniel Ricciardo. Either way, we're going to have an Australian winning the driver's title, which is going to be pretty damn exciting. But that's been this episode for today, guys, the Mexican Grand Prix. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, to see plenty more F1 2016 videos. And until the next race, the Brazilian Grand Prix, I'll see you guys next time.